What's up everybody and welcome to the cave. I'm GrizzlyKaun and last night I saw Ice Cream Man. Spoiler alert, it was ass. Why did it suck so bad? Let's get into it. Full spoilers, not that there's much to spoil. Man, it truly just baffles me how bad this movie was. Like, I didn't have high expectations going into this at all. Prior to seeing it, I only looked at one review, just the title, and it said, Ice Cream Man Review. Eli Roth's latest is all kills, no substance. That's it. That's all I read. Holy crap, how right they were in such a short statement. Now this movie's only 1 hour and 26 minutes long. I could not wait to leave by what had to be about 30 minutes into the film, around the time that all the children start to become murderous, which should be when I'm drawn in the most, right? Let's do a quick breakdown. Again, there's not much to it. We open with a Little League baseball game where almost every kid in town is at. Our main character, Jared, misses the game-winning catch, so all the kids start bullying him. A mysterious ice cream truck pulls up and starts handing out ice cream. Jared goes to eat some ice cream, but his big sister, Lizzie, snatches it out of his hand because he's lactose intolerant, and she eats his ice cream instead. Some dialogue happens to show that every kid in this town is a complete asshole, and it feels like a middle schooler wrote it, and a mysterious video of a cartoon with a singing ice cream cone begins to play on all these kids' phones as they continue to eat their ice cream. We then see Jared and his family sitting down to dinner, where we learn that his parents are lawyers and so is his grandfather. That's literally the only important piece of information that we get in this scene that feels like it will never end between the cringe dialogue and terrible jokes. So during the night, the ice cream man starts driving through the neighborhoods playing the same song that was heard in that mysterious video, and all the kids that were eating ice cream that day wake up and suddenly start murdering their parents. Where some of the kills are very close to some of the kills that we get in the Terrifier movies. So the next day, Jared's parents get up and go to work, and he gets up to go to school. He gets there and only a couple kids are acting normal, including Maya, who ate some ice cream the day before, but as a later line of dialogue tells us, I'm a 12-year-old girl, of course I know how to make myself throw up. So she remains unaffected because she's bulimic. All the other kids in school are basically zombified with a bunch of ice cream smeared all over their face. So the ice cream man shows up to the school now, and he starts playing the music again, and all the kids freak out and start killing all the adults and all the teachers. This continues for a good long while before we get any more plot, and all kinds of dumb shit happens. Like the scene where a kid jumps off the roof and dies, so a teacher runs over and she's all concerned. Well, the kids swarm her and they kill her. The kid who died is instantly brought back to life when another kid feeds him some more ice cream. Then another teacher comes out and they're like,
"What's going on?"
That teacher notices the body, freaks out, gets killed. And then another teacher comes out and the same thing happens, but he calls the cops before he dies. And then the one cop who answers the call shows up, and he does the exact same thing these three teachers did. Notices the body, freaks out, gets killed by the kids. And then one singular fireman shows up with the full-size truck and everything. He sees kids on the roof, so he sets the ladder up. The kids push the ladder over. He dies. Basically the same way that all the other teachers and the cop just died. 5 times in a row with basically the same setup. They really swung for the fences with that creativity here. So anyway, it's just a lot of trying to be shocking with gore, but with really shitty setup and bad acting. Eventually, Jared remembers that he has a phone in his pocket, so he tries to call for help. Mom and Dad don't answer, so he calls his sister Lizzie. So Lizzie was sleeping, but once she's awoken by the call, she realizes she can't answer the call because her arms are paralyzed. So she uses Siri to call him back. She tells the kids to go to the town church basement because no one ever goes there, so she'll figure out a way to come pick them up. So to fix the arm paralysis she's experiencing, Jared tells her she needs to throw up because the ice cream she ate is causing the paralysis in her arm. She crawls her way across the floor using her legs because apparently if your arms are paralyzed, you can't walk either. So she figures out how to stand up, walks into the bathroom, and face plants her face down onto her toothbrush, shoving it down her throat, causing her to throw up. She barely pukes at all and is instantly okay again. So more useless things happen and the kids make their way to the church basement. They get down there and there's a freezer where they keep bodies cold for funerals. And what should be in that freezer but a bunch of ice cream and the pastor of the church passed out in the back. And from here we finally get some more plot to understand what the fuck is going on. Apparently a few decades ago an ice cream man came to town and he was a foreigner. He just loved to give people ice cream. Well, the now pastor was still in training at this point and the head of the church was molesting the children of the town. Well, the young priest came forward and turned in the bad priest, but the bad priest hired a good lawyer. And who do you think that lawyer was? You guessed it, Jared's grandfather. So the lawyer convinced all the kids of the town to point the finger at the ice cream man rather than the priest, so the ice cream man goes to prison instead. So fast forward, a guy called the necromancer comes to visit the ice cream man in prison and tells him that in exchange for his soul, he will help him get revenge on all of the kids who blamed him. The next day, he's found dead in his cell, so they take him, they bury him in the town graveyard, and the necromancer comes and resurrects him and takes his place in the grave. So back to the present. The priest says you have to kill the siren protecting the necromancer, and then you have to cut the head off of the necromancer and show the head to the ice cream man, and then everything will go back to normal. But the catch is, you can't look at the necromancer's face. You have to show the face to the ice cream man without seeing it yourself. So the plan is that Lizzie, the big sister, will get her ex-boyfriend to come pick her up in his truck, and then together they'll drive over to the church to pick up the kids. Well, the kids leave the church because the ice cream man shows up, but don't worry, Lizzie and her boo find the kids instantaneously anyway. They go to the grave and they're blocked by the ice cream man and a bunch of kids holding hands across the street, even though they locked the ice cream man in the freezer when they were leaving the church, so there's no way for him to get out of there, or all the way across town where the cemetery is located. Things happen and they get to the grave, they open it up only to find 2 bodies rather than just the one of the necromancer. The siren just ended up being one of the kids that was infected. He didn't affect anything at all. I don't know why it was even in there. Well, Jared and Lizzie cut off the heads of the 2 bodies that are in there. Jared pulls one out and he shows it to the ice cream man. If you haven't guessed who those 2 bodies actually were in that grave, I'd be shocked because, like the rest of this movie, I knew it as soon as I saw the 2 bodies were in there. It was actually their parents in the grave that they just decapitated. The ice cream man has now gotten revenge on all the kids who blamed him back in the day by having their own children kill them from eating the zombified ice cream, and the priest from the church was actually the necromancer himself. The horde of infected kids and the ice cream man make their way to a large city that's off in the foreground. The end. I wish I could have just watched a video to learn how shitty this movie was, but I stayed and I suffered. For you.
The people.
By far, the worst movie I've seen this year. It takes a lot to knock Psycho Killer off that throne, but Ice Cream Man showed up and said, hold my beer. There was nothing in this movie that I could really compliment besides maybe the gore effects. The dialogue is total crap from the start. It literally feels like a middle schooler who just watched a bunch of South Park wrote this, but not nearly as good. The entire plot and writing of the movie was nothing but kids cursing, cringe jokes, and really bad ideas. The acting didn't do it any favors either. No one in the film was a standout, and honestly, I think the writing was so bad that it brought down the acting as well. The cinematography was nothing special, no neat camera tricks at all, just very much, okay, here it is. There's a scene where the kids have to escape their school to get to the church, and to get there, they have to cross the playground that is full of zombified kids who are just attacking anything and everything that's not under the ice cream influence. Rather than put the camera on a track or something so you have a nice smooth shot from right behind the kids as chaos is just unfolding all around them, the camera guy just runs with the camera so it's just shaking every which way to the point that you can't see anything that's going on. I guessed every reveal before they actually showed it, and I wasn't surprised by a single twist in the script. It all just felt very obvious once they actually showed you what was going on. The most entertaining thing about this movie was this one guy that was in our theater full of 7 people.
He was just looking for a good time.
He laughed at every little quip. At the end of it, he was the only one in there just seal clapping away. As we were walking out, he said, "That was fucking awesome." All in all,
He had a very good time.
and good for him, you know, I'm glad he enjoyed himself. But holy crap, it was just really funny to see when no one else in our theater seemed to be enjoying it at all, including the guy who about 15 minutes into it decided to just pull his phone out and start scrolling Instagram looking at girls. So all in all, Ice Cream Man was pretty terrible. Between its horrible script, cringe dialogue, and its want to be edgy and gory just like the Terrifier to the point that it even copied some of the kills to an extent, it holds the new record in my book for the worst of 2026. In my spoiler-free review from this morning, I made a joke where I said I'd rather watch Supergirl than have to watch this again. After pondering that all day, I can confirm I would rather watch Supergirl or Disclosure Day and even Psycho Killer before I had to watch this a second time, despite all of those movies having a longer runtime. For me, Ice Cream Man gets a very lousy 1 out of 10. And that 1 is only held up by the gore effects. Eli Roth, for shame. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss future content. Coming up next week at the cinema, we have The End of Oak Street, and I just really hope it's better than this, but honestly, that's not a high bar to beat. This Sunday is the finale of House of the Dragon Season 3, so be sure to keep an eye out for my breakdown of that. And this weekend, I plan to work my way through the 9th Jedi series that just dropped, so lots of videos on their way. Be sure to keep an eye out because you will not want to miss them. So until next time, I'm GrizzlyKaun, and remember, the cave is always open.